This is just a pretty time of season. I love spring and fall better than winter and summer when it's so extreme. You throw a jacket on and you're quite comfortable. I'm wearing my hoodie, which needs a good wash. This is my work hoodie, and it definitely doesn't look good. It needs to get washed this weekend. Washed. I think that's a Warshington thing. We don't say Washington. And I was born in DC and adopted from DC, from an orphanage. So that may be my only, I'm a Maryland suburban boy, but I was born, I was born in the city. Really would like to know the history, like to know what happened there. What's the deal? At that time, so someone was listening to a little Elvis and they got a little carried away, and next thing you know, and then 9 months later, I came and they said, well, so no one aborted me. No one aborted my brother and my sister were also adopted. They just, which was more difficult to do in those days because that was many decades ago. But, yeah. So the option was for the three of us, we weren't from the same parents. By sight of us, you could tell we all seem of different gene pools. But just that in those days, people put babies up for adoption. Do they do that anymore? Or do they just abort it? I think they just, whatever. Anyway, it seems like that's a viable, yes, it's difficult, but when someone makes a decision to have sex, then maybe next time, if you didn't want a baby, maybe the next time somebody's pressuring you to have sex, or you think you just want to have sex, you might think twice, right? Does anyone take responsibility? Does anyone get introspective and go, I shouldn't have had sex with that guy. I ended up pregnant. Maybe I'm not going to do that again until I'm married or until I really want to have a baby. I don't know. So anyway, I just thought this was a pretty view through this. I like the mesh. My wife made this. This is her garden, literally her garden. All of this. Well, actually, I think this was here. This bed was actually here. And then we just decided this was the garden. And that bed was there, outside of there, which I tried to grow some watermelon. Next year. It's always next year, right? You learn from your mistakes. I'm learning slowly. But she's got a garden going on. I think next year is going to be a real humdinger of a garden, I think. So she fenced all this. She put those poles in herself. She created that gate. This is her baby. The grapes aren't working, but they're still alive. I don't want to double them, but anyway. So yeah, I just thought that was a pretty view. So this is fall, and I just enjoy. I like wind. I like the wind. I like the way tree branches wave in the wind. I like the way the leaves kind of do like a crazy little dance. They're all like, the whole thing is alive up there. A couple years ago, we had a tree. Well, we still have the tree, but it was, I went away for a trip, and my wife, I guess, wanted more sun, and she had somebody come in and trim a couple of these trees right there. Let's see, where's the one? Is that the one? Yeah. No. Yes. Yeah, that's literally the tree right there. Yeah, that's it. So from the house window, you could see out. And that tree that has those branches had double the branches. And they came down that whole bottom shaft of this tree right to about here. From here to here, had more branches. And it's a different kind of tree. I don't know what it is, but it gets these little black berries that look like ligustrum berries. And from the window, I would look out, and the birds, when the berries came, these little pods, berries, the birds would get in there and they would just jump, and it would be like they'd be fluttering everywhere, just going crazy like piranhas scavenging on that tree. And they would be singing, and they'd be going from branch to branch. There's a lot of movement and a lot of singing, and it was beautiful. Anyway, I don't know what kind of, maybe somebody knows if anybody listens to me ever. What's a black, it's like a black berry that comes off. It looks like a ligustrum berry. And the birds love it. Anyway, so, yeah, I don't know what the point, except that this is a nice time of year, and I just thought this was a nice view, looking through this fence that my wife put up out into the house. The house looks better from a distance. You know, everything looks better from a distance, right? Or in semi-dark. Just like I say, I want the body of the guy in the mirror when the light is sort of dim from like the sun coming from the window. That's any of your fatness seems to go away when your imperfections in front of the mirror when the light is less than full seem to go away. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not the only one, am I? So anyway, yeah, the house looks good from a distance. Needs a clean. We need to steam that thing. What do you call it? Power wash. But from here, I thought it looked great. So have a good day. Remember to ask the saints to pray for us. Remember to pray for the souls in purgatory. This is October, and we're coming up to All Saints and All Souls Day. And those are particular days when we remember those who have died. And you're either saints or sinners. Just thought about that. Yeah. Everyone is a saint or a sinner. When you die, you're going to go to two categories. You're divided from the sheep and the goats. You either go to heaven or you go to hell. Those are the only two options. We do get a stopover, many of us, presumably, in purgatory, but that ends in heaven. So there's only two places, heaven and hell. So we're saints and sinners. If you're in heaven, you're a saint. If you're in hell, well, you're doomed. So that makes it important to get it right. So let's ask the saints to pray for us. And let's do some praying to God to give us enlightenment to, does he exist, doesn't exist, what's his plan for us, and how do we make sure that we're saints when we die and not sinners?